Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us at the aXcelerate Turnitin webinar. I'm Nick. I'm the partner manager here at aXcelerate. Joining me today for the Turnitin presentation is Vincent.
Hi, thanks, Nick. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, Navigating Integrity in the AI Era, a collaboration between aXcelerate and Turnitin. My name is Vincent Rowley, and I'm a customer success manager here at Turnitin. So today we're addressing a topic that has become increasingly pressing around the vet sector, how we safeguard assessment integrity in an era where AI tools like ChatGPT are becoming a commonplace.
Before we dive straight into the presentation, just for everybody on the call, today's session is being recorded. A recording will be sent out to all registered attendees after the session. There's also in Zoom down at the bottom of your screen a little area for Q&A, and we'll be taking questions throughout. We have time at the end to answer questions, so if you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A, and we will work our way through them. There is a couple of our experts in the background. You can kind of see their little names on the screen. Surly from Turnitin and Patrick from aXcelerate. They'll be beavering away in the back, helping us with the questions as they come in. And with that, I'll hand over now to Vincent to take us through the presentation. Thank you, Vincent.
Perfect. All right. So at Turnitin, our mission is to ensure the integrity of global education. We'll explore the practical strategies you can use during this presentation, just so that we can use to stay ahead of these challenges while keeping compliance, academic integrity, and student success at the core of education. Now, our objectives for today will cover four main objectives. First is to understand the evolving types of academic misconduct and their impacts. Second is to explore ASCA's new standards and how they intersect with assessment authenticity. Third is to share actionable advice for creating authentic short answer and quiz assessments. And fourth, and finally, is to demonstrate how Turnitin's tools can support you in staying compliant, save time, and protect the integrity and value of your assessments. Now, as many of you know firsthand, several trends are converging that increase the risks of misconduct, especially in the vet sector, and it's becoming our reality. The shift to online learning, the proliferation of contract cheating services, and now the rise of AI-powered tools have made it easier than ever for students to bypass honest academic work, all while you juggle time constraints, compliance demands, and the responsibility of delivering quality education at the same time. So our goal is to provide support and solutions to help you meet these growing challenges with confidence. Academic misconduct has evolved dramatically over the years since our company came about in 1999. We've moved from simple copy and paste plagiarism to highly sophisticated AI writing bots capable of producing original seeming work. What this means is that text similarity checks alone are no longer sufficient. Detection strategies must evolve to match the complexity of the misconduct. And this is where our multi-layered approach becomes essential. Now, ASCA's standards emphasize assessments being valid, fair, and authentic. Trainers are expected to ensure that work is genuinely the student's own. The new standards acknowledge the rising complexity of academic misconduct and encourage the use of technology to strengthen authenticity checks. Our solutions directly support these expectations, which helps RTOs meet compliance while maintaining educational quality. Now, according to ASCA providers, they are also expected to ensure the authenticity of students' work with evidence being presented as their own. Policies are required to be set in place to ensure that students demonstrate the skills they are required to have for their competency, with plagiarism check being a requirement of this as well. Now, this has always been the case with ASCII standards. However, this is now more a serious focus. Now, when using aXcelerate, Turnitin supports quiz-based short-form questions for basic integrity and long-form file upload for basic and advanced integrity, where both similarity report and AI report can be generated for those long-form answers. Now, let's dive into the challenges with quiz-based assessments. Short answer quizzes often fail to give educators insights into the student's actual thinking, with answers limited to 300 words or less. AI written or copied responses may look convincing, but reveal little about true understanding. Now, we need to shift from measuring correct answers to assessing reasoning and analysis behind those answers, redesigning our assessments more from a pedagogical approach where it focuses on the thought process rather than just the final answer, as this will provide deeper information on students' learning gaps and also their progression at the same time. Now, more challenges that can occur with quiz-based assessments is also with tools like ChatGPT that allow students to generate plausible responses with ease, especially for fact-based or definition-style questions. Now, these tools are readily available, and this is why, um, again, designing high-order thinking assessments is so critical in this current landscape. And beyond AI misuse as well, quizzes are also vulnerable to contract cheating. Students may outsource short answer questions to others who complete the work for them because these answers appear original. They can easily bypass surface level detection without deeper analysis tools like those offered by Turnitin. Traditional quizzes also focuses on outcomes and rarely on assessing the process. Are students actually developing their skills or simply recalling memorized information? Without visibility into their thinking, it becomes difficult to identify learning gaps or where areas where additional instructors is needed to map their learning outcomes and their AQD levels as well. At the same time, poor assessment design may risk in non-compliance with ASCII standards because without strong evidence of authenticity, RTOs may struggle to demonstrate that students have truly met the required learning outcomes. Well-designed assessments supported by our analysis provides robust evidence to actually support compliance reviews as well. Now let's move on to best practices for AI resilient short answer questions. The key to AI resilient assessments is emphasizing higher order thinking. So asking students to compare, apply, evaluate, and justify their responses will demand genuine cognitive engagement. And these types of questions are harder for AI tools to replicate and actually reveal true learning as well. Now, even multiple choice questions can be designed to test deeper understanding, having scenarios, case studies, and complex problem-solving tasks can be built into MCQs, reducing the effectiveness of AI-generated responses and promoting authentic student engagement at the same time. Now, by using question pools with varied scenarios or developing questions that promotes analysis rather than just recalling answers, could also do that at the same time. I would like to also highlight Hertz's guide on e-assessment as a resource and also ask us recommendations as well. Authentic scenarios tied to real-world application also challenges students to demonstrate how they actually apply knowledge. Having a personalized or contextual question such as case studies makes it harder for AI tools or contract writers to produce generic answers. Now, this is a key strategy recommended by both TEXA and ASCA as well. Another important aspect is by adding reflective elements to ask students to explain their process and decision making. This metacognitive approach makes it much more difficult for outsourced or AI-generated work to appear credible. Reflection also supports deeper learning by encouraging students to consider their own progress. The Victorian Department of Education also suggests that reflective components promotes academic integrity. Moving on to long-form responses and file uploads. So with the AI adoption accelerating, long-form assessments remain one of the strongest formats, we would say, for authentic assessments. However, they require robust integrity safeguards at the same time. And with our expanded originality checking and AI detection capabilities, this supports our educators by highlighting any suspicious elements in these longer submissions. Now, as you can see from the data here, the data clearly shows that AI use among students has almost doubled in just 1 year, and students are increasingly relying on AI tools to produce assignment content. Now, this trend reinforces the importance of redesigning assessments and adopting a reliable detection method. And this also shows that AI detection is here to stay as well. At the same time, as you can see, that the proportion of students using generated text has more an increase as well, especially with the use of ChatGPT. And also, what this has led to as well is the faculty workload impact, where faculty workloads are increasing as staff spends more time policing integrity issues caused by AI. And without the right tools, much of this work remains subjective and definitely time consuming. So we provide a data-driven insights that saves time for our instructors and at the same time reduces the investigative burden on the staff as well. Studies also show that most AI-generated submissions are going undetected, and disturbingly are often receiving higher grades than genuine student work. Now, this reinforces the need for specialized AI detection tools that go beyond human intuition alone. Now, this research on this slide refers to instructors that did not use any detection tool, but tried to identify AI-generated text themselves. Now, moving on to contract cheating. What is contract cheating? So contract cheating is defined here involves students purchasing or outsourcing original work to others. It remains one of the most serious threats to academic integrity because the work is often indistinguishable without advanced analysis tools. Now, in addition to similarity scores, Turnitin provides additional indicators such as metadata anomalies, mismatched templates, or unused file structures that may suggest misconducts. So these are a few things as well that these red flags provide important context or a smoking gun when reviewing students' work. The prevention starts with education and clearly communicating integrity expectations, offering training on referencing and using formative assessments with feedback opportunities can definitely reduce misconduct and improve students' understanding on ethical practices. Now, please refer to Texas guidance on the importance of educating students on the integrity standards as well. And I know that I've spoken about a lot and referred to a lot of guidances. And at the end of this presentation, we will have a QR code where a lot of these resources are attached as well. So if you could please later on scan that QR code, that would be awesome. Now let's dive into the Turnitin product suite and how, when integrated with aXcelerate, can help RTOs support academic integrity. Now, Turnitin's Similarity product suite includes content database, similarity reports, match categories, and flags. And with our add-on Turnitin Originality, this provides access to AI writing detection, our authorship tools, draft coach, alongside with an extended database. And together, these provide a comprehensive view of each submission, giving educators actionable data to support academic integrity. And all of these products also integrate seamlessly within the aXcelerate learning management system as well. Now, with our similarity report, It supports educator in providing a targeted view of the flags. And it also flags potential issues to the forefront, which we know is a time-consuming burden to look for evidences yourself. Now, this allows for educators to focus on what actually really matters, which is providing actionable and meaningful feedback to advance student outcomes. Our AI writing insights identifies content generated by AI writing tools such as ChatGPT or modified by AI paraphrasing tools in submitted academic content with our AI writing detection indicator and report as well. So instructors can have formative conversations with students based on text similarity and indicators of AI use, and all conveniently accessible through the similarity report. And languages that we support for AI detection includes English, Spanish, Japanese, and also coming soon in 2025 this year, Arabic as well. Now, beyond textual similarity, we also surface document level insights, such as file history, writing inconsistencies, and unusual editing patterns that can help identify contract cheating or AI misuse even when similarity scores are low. So a few things that you can take into consideration, it could be the time that it took for editing, the number of revisions, whether the page size is consistent, or even the name of the author itself. So these things could be a smoking gun that could point to whether a student has actually done their own work or they've actually outsourced their work, whether it's through ChatGPT or through a contract cheating service. Now, to summarize today's key points, Turnitin is not here to replace your judgment, but to empower it. By providing clear, accessible evidence, our tools help you make defensible confidence decisions, whether you are investigating misconduct or supporting learning through feedback. A few points as well is that academic misconduct continues to evolve rapidly year by year, and ASCA standards require authentic, defensible assessments, practices, assessment redesign focus on higher order thinking, and also reflection reduces risk as well. And last but not least, Turnitin's multi-layered detection solution also provides the robust evidence you need to protect academic integrity and at the same time maintaining compliance as well. And how our products can help you maintain this compliance is by saving time and ensuring that the assessments that you have and courses have value. Turnitin similarity is recommended for short answers, as mentioned previously, and whereas the Turnitin originality add-on highly recommended for long-form responses and file uploads. All right, so I'll open up this time for Q&A. And as I mentioned previously, there's also this QR code that you can scan to be able to view a lot of these resources. And if you do require any additional information, please also opt in for us to reach out to you. It'll probably be either myself, Vincent, as the customer success manager here at Turnitin, or Lewis Hawkins, who is an account executive, will reach out to you as well with further information on any queries that you have.
We will also send out this QR code with the follow-up email that'll go out with the recording of this video, so everybody will have the ability to still access the QR code. We'll also include all of the information for contacting the Turnitin representatives so that you guys can reach out directly to Turnitin if you have further questions. But we do have some questions in the Q&A, which
Yeah.
means we can answer some questions in the Q&A. Excuse me.
Like,
first one that comes through is, does Turnitin allow Grammarly Writer or detect them? The response that we have is no, the detector is not tuned to target Grammarly generated content, but rather other AI content written by LLMs, such as ChatGPT 3.5. Based on initial tests that were conducted on human written documents with no AI generated content in them, in most cases, changes made by Grammarly and or grammar checking tools were not flagged as AI written by our detector, which is a godsend because I have a horrible time with grammar and spelling. It's yeah.
Yeah, I think also in terms of Grammarly itself, I think it's important to distinguish between using Grammarly itself, which is just for the grammar checking, versus there's also Grammarly Go, which essentially writes, and it's also based on LLMs as well. So they use this AI in assisting students to actually write their work. So in that particular case, if a student uses Grammarly Go, we will be detecting it as part of our AI detection. But if it's just Grammarly that we use day to day just to change, correct our grammars or making suggestions in terms of spelling errors, that's not something that we detect. But Grammarly Go is, yeah.
Good to know. There's another question regarding the costs around Turnitin and
Yeah.
can send out details. Of course, the QR code that's there, if you fill out the form that is linked with that QR code, details can be sent out for you. There's another question around how does it work with aXcelerate? And I can see that Patrick is in the middle of typing an answer to that, so we'll come back to that one in a moment. Um, excuse me. Are there now many AI tools besides ChatGPT? So how will, or there are many, yeah, can't read this morning, sorry. There are now many AI tools besides ChatGPT. So how will Turnitin deal with this aspect?
Yeah. So I would say that our AI team definitely is on the forefront of every single tool that comes out, and we would always do continuous testing on these tools. And then even, a lot of our customers or partners, like they would actually flag us like, oh, like there's actually like this tool that one of our students like flagged with us. Is that something that you detect? And then in most cases, a lot of the times, once I've actually reached out to our AI team, they're actually already in the process of doing testings on them as well. So we are continuously doing testings on different AI tools to ensure that it's part of our detection as well. And I think even within the last couple of years, there was also worry from a lot of our partners regarding humanizers or text spinners, such as Quillbot. And that's also something that we have made available as part of our AI detection at the moment. And our AI detection report actually separates the content that and highlights the content that is just AI generated and AI generated, but have gone through a humanizer or a text spinner.
Um, how do you distinguish between intentional academic misconduct and unintentional misuse of AI?
I think in terms of distinguishing what is intentional or not, I think the first thing that you have to kind of take a look at, I would say, would be the policies that you have set for that, particular course or assessment. So, in some instances, there would be a lot of guidelines set if, AI is allowed as part of an assessment. And let's say if AI is allowed, then in most cases, with the institutions that I've worked with, then the students are actually required to reference that AI has been used. So as part of their references, ChatGPT or any large language models will be referenced as part of that list. So I think for me, the first step is always to sort of go back to um, the policies that have been set by the institution and then kind of looking at it from a case-to-case basis. And I think that's why like having the evidence to support these conversations, let's say if AI is not allowed, and then the AI report that is generated for the student shows otherwise, then having that evidence to have further conversations with them to see whether the work is actually authentic to their own. And having that evidence will facilitate that conversation. I think that's really important as part of that process.
Um, do you find that students are misusing AI? Start again, sorry. I need another coffee. Do you find are students misusing AI more frequently in online exams, essays, or short answer assignments?
Um, I think for us, in terms of when they are misusing it, I'm pretty sure that we have data on it somewhere, probably. But I would say that I think it goes back to our approach where in the future, I think us as a company, we're planning on not so much just focusing on the detection, but I think also because of the not necessarily misuse, but just I think it's also at the same time using AI prepares these students for even work or later on, because I think like now a lot of employers are also looking for knowledge and or the ability to use AI as part of their requirements. We are actually moving more towards to taking like a formative approach and making sure that these students are able to learn and the ability to use AI within a more controlled environment where you can actually see, the prompts that they use, how the actual work came about. And I think when you see the whole process of how a student's work is created, I think also that's when you're able to see whether the student's work is authentic or not. And then throughout that whole process, you can pinpoint actually where the student is having some difficulties, whether it's during the brainstorming. You can see where specifically pinpoint and then provide them with the appropriate feedback. So I would say that I think it's also important to understand where a lot of these misuse comes from, because I think a lot of the time, students, they don't necessarily just plagiarize or use ChatGPT for no reason. So I think it's really important to diving into deeper on the reasons why they do it as well.
Um, oh, more questions keep coming in. Let's go back to the how does it work in aXcelerate because Patrick has compiled a beautiful answer,
Yeah.
mostly so I don't have to. Um, So Turnitin can be enabled for full assessments or on a question by question basis. And when enabled, some functions may be removed, such as the accepted file format being reduced. This is done to meet Turnitin's accepted formats. When are the checks performed? Similarly, checks are done after student submission and are displayed to the marker. There are some additional questions that have also come in.
Yeah.
AI is rapidly evolving and getting even smarter. How will integrity be maintained in this future world of training and assessment?
Yeah, I think that goes back to my previous answer in terms of like how we're moving from just detecting AI to allowing students to use AI, but more in a controlled environment. Because I think eventually, as I mentioned previously, that a lot of these workplaces, or just to prepare them for their next stage in life, the ability to be able to use chat AI responsibly is something that is really important. So having a place where students are allowed to use AI, but more so in a controlled environment where the educators are able to see how everything came about. Let's say even like the prompts that they use, is really important. One thing that we have that we are releasing this year is Turnitin Clarity. So that is the product that provides students with a dedicated workspace where they're able to write their assignments. Educators are able to see using the playback feature, how that assignment came about. And then also at the same time, educators are able to see the prompts that these students are using and within a controlled environment. So what's really amazing about the AI tool that is embedded as part of this workspace is that when students um, request for, let's say it's a biology assignment and they request, oh, write me a 1,000-word essay on microbiology, our AI doesn't actually just listen to that and then generate a 1,000-word assignment. But what will happen is that it'll ask the students, it'll come back with an answer saying, let's take a step back. Let's have a look at these are potentially the points that you can use. Do you want me to help you like structure the assignment? So it's still because our main worry is also a lot of our partners worry with the use of AI is for students to not actually develop their critical thinking skills and just relying too heavily on AI. So I think having it in a structured environment where the AI is still controlled, I would say is the best of both worlds, where a student will still have and build their AI skills, but at the same time not rely too heavily on that and ensuring that they still have the necessary skills to be successful um, later on as well, which would be critical thinking.
Cool. Um, Last question in the Q&A. Does Turnitin work with DeepSeek and other AI developed or used by Chinese students?
Yeah, so from my knowledge, it is something that we do detect. I'll have to confirm that with our product management team. I'm pretty sure because of how well known DeepSeek is in general, that it's something that we would be able to detect. So let me just have a quick look. I think though an interesting thing in regards to DeepSeek is the feedback that we've actually received from our partners or institutions that have seen students use DeepSeek is the quality of work that DeepSeek had generated. And I think sometimes also when students don't use the right prompts or prompts that are not well constructed enough in terms of generating an assignment, you can clearly tell that sometimes it doesn't even align with a lot of the things that are being asked of the assignments. So I think that's definitely something that could be considered as well as part of just going through the assignment and I guess as part of the grading process as well.
Okay. Um, and we've got a one here now from Ashley.
Yeah.
Straight to the point, it's quite interesting to consider where the line is between leveraging AI as a supportive tool versus wholly complete tasks. We're expected in our workspace to use AI to enhance
Yeah.
efficiency, and that is happening all over. This raises a pertinent question. At what point does a student's use of AI for answering questions cross into merely having the work done for them rather than with them? I personally wonder if the challenge might necessitate a shift in assessment strategies, moving towards a greater emphasis on in-person observation or oral examinations to generally confirm the student's understanding and knowledge, reducing the written short or long answer assessments. And it's a very good point that
Yeah.
it's all well and good to type things into A, even if you're a master at prompting the thing to get a good answer out. That doesn't necessarily mean you've understood and retain what you need to know. It's just a quick way to get an answer for a task, tick and flick, and you're done, which is not going to help the student in the long term.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think also I've received confirmation as well in terms of DeepSeek. So based on the internal testing that we've done with AI generated content from DeepSeek, it indicates that our AI writing detector is able to identify content detected generated by DeepSeek as well. Yeah.
There we go. Um, Vincent, thank you very much for coming along and taking us through all of that. Thank you, everybody in the audience who have attended. Well, as I mentioned, I'll be sending out an email as a follow-up for everybody who registered with a link to the video recording, as well as the QR code that can give you more information on Turnitin. If you have any other questions or you'd like more information, please feel free to reach out. The contact details will be popped into the email that we'll send out. And we look forward to hearing from you. And once again, Vincent, and especially the Brains Trust in the background, Surly and Patrick, thank you very much for coming along today.
Thank you, everyone.